really tough decision trying to decide whether you're going to start a PhD program. And the kinds of questions that you should ask yourself are things like, do I want to try to address some of the bigger questions about communication, communication disorders, and the kinds of therapies that we do to help people with communication problems? The purpose of the PhD program really is quite different from the master's program. The goal is to make you an expert researcher. So there are a few differences between the clinical master's program and the PhD program. When you're working on your master's degree, you might do one research project or none at all. When you're working on your PhD, you will do a number of research projects, a number of in-depth research projects, and then of course that culminates ultimately in your dissertation work. It's also really different just in terms of the experience. While the master's program to me felt very much like a sprint, it was very intense, the PhD program is more like an endurance race. It takes 4 years or so, and you do a number of research rotations in a number of labs. Your coursework is actually quite different as well. When you're working on your clinical master's, you tend to focus on coursework that has to do with the disorders and the nature of normal communication. In the PhD program, your coursework is much more focused on research design, on things like statistics, and then whatever you're doing for your minor. For me, it was cognitive science. During your PhD program, you will really align yourself with one professor. In the master's program, you really are supported by a whole group of clinical staff and faculty, and also academic faculty. During your PhD, while you will have several lab rotations, you really will be working closely with one individual, and making the decision about who your mentor is a really important decision, and a decision that you'll make before you start the PhD program in most cases. Having a good mentor, as I've had, is really important, and the faculty here is just outstanding, so you almost can't go wrong. My dissertation work involved looking at language abilities in people with progressive aphasia, and also doing neuroimaging to get a sense of where there's damage in the brains of these individuals, and to sort of correlate the language impairments with areas of atrophy in the brain. Another important skill set, I think, that you acquire during a PhD program that you don't necessarily when working on your master's is being able to communicate effectively in the context of public speaking. You often get teaching experience and get a lot of experience with presenting your own data and your own research findings. From here, I'll be going to start a postdoctoral research position at the University of California at San Francisco. I'll be working in their Department of Neurology in the Memory and Aging Center. And the research that I'll be doing is really sort of building upon the work that I did as a doctoral student. I'll still be working with individuals with progressive aphasia, but I'll be using some new imaging techniques and acquiring some new technical skills, and also doing some treatment research. So I'm really looking forward to that.